Yeah, man!
Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you mushroom tomato stew. Alright, so you're gonna need about 6 plummy tomatoes. You can use salad tomatoes, make sure they're real ripe. 1 onion, 3 between 4 garlic cloves, 1 stalk of scallion. Scallion is optional. Parsley, dried parsley, a tablespoon of parsley, quarter teaspoon of dried pimento berries, rosemary, about a teaspoon of grinded rosemary, whole cloves, 2 whole cloves, marjoram, a teaspoon of marjoram, and a tablespoon of dried basil, oregano, quarter teaspoon of oregano, rosemary, about half teaspoon of grinded rosemary. Remember now, you can get any of these herbs fresh. Visit JamaicaDinners.com. And a kind of mushroom. You can use fresh mushroom too as well with this method. I'm gonna start by putting aside the herbs. So I'm starting with the rosemary, dried rosemary. You can use any of these herbs fresh. Now, be sure the rosemary is grinded fine. You can do what I'm doing if you can. This is a teaspoon, about a teaspoon of rosemary. Or you can use one of those grinder thing that they grind up herbs in. Oregano. You need a quarter teaspoon of oregano. The oregano herb is strong, so you don't need plenty. Marjoram. Marjoram. Measure and add 1 teaspoon of marjoram. Basil, sweet basil leaves, dried. Measure and add 1 tablespoon of sweet basil or basil. Don't necessarily have to be the sweet one because they have many different species. Alright, whole cloves. Find 2 nice old cloves and put aside and lay on a plate. We're replacing all our herbs. Quarter teaspoon of dried pimento berries, basil, 1 parsley, a tablespoon of dried parsley, alright, so this is our herbs. Just put them aside and feel ready. Put them aside, have them ready to use. Now with the scallion, do as I always say, remove dying leaves, cut off ends. Root end, the tip of the leaf dying. Garlic cloves, remove the leaves. Remove the skin or the leaf from the garlic, cut off ends, and trim off any spoilage. An onion. This is a large onion, so I'm just going to use half an onion. So remove the brown leaf. The first layer of the onion is the strongest. However, in today's case, I can finally show you if it's spoiling or it's spoiled. You remove the first layer of the onion. Oh, I forgot. The tomatoes. The riper the tomatoes, the better. Cut off the stem end of the tomato or trim off. So once you do all of that, we're going to rinse the tomato and the scallion. Now, put in a bowl some water. Drizzle a couple of drops of white vinegar distilled in the water and wash the tomatoes properly. Rub them with your finger and then rinse it on the fresh running water. So remember I was telling you, use the white vinegar and wash the tomatoes properly. And if you're against using skin, just boil some water, drop the tomatoes in the hot water and then put it in cold water again and then peel off the skin. Or you can just hold the tomato as it is and gently, carefully go and peel off the skin as it is. But if you ask me, leave the skin on. There's a lot of nutrients in the skin, in the tomato's skin. Alright, so this is our scallion. So dice the scallion fine. This is 100% vegan recipe. You might even call it vegetarian too as well. Slice onion. With this meal you can dice the onion if you wish. But I like to slice the onions. And keep your vegetable ingredients separate. Grind garlic to puree or pulp. Keep the vegetables separate. You're gonna see why I say keep the vegetables separate. Half Scotch bonnet pepper. The pepper is optional. You don't have to use it if you don't have to. If you don't have access to Scotch bonnet pepper, you can always use red pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of shredded red pepper, or if you have access to the old chili pepper, you just cut it in half and use it. Or cayenne pepper. Any pepper. Remember, you can use red pepper. Our objective in using the pepper in this meal is just for flavoring. Alright, this is our canned mushroom. I already opened it and use half in another meal. To use your can opener, open a can of mushroom. If it's not already sliced, and remember you can use fresh mushroom. Just do them like how I'm about to right now. So wash the mushrooms from the can properly. Wash it out first, throw off that syrup or whatever water the mushrooms came in, and then throw fresh running water in the can and rinse it a couple times. Alright, after that, slice your mushrooms. Just do as you see me doing and slice the mushrooms. If you're using fresh mushrooms, meaning not canned, do the same thing as you see me doing right now. Because this method of cooking, you can use the fresh mushroom and do it the same method that I'm doing, that you are about to see. Alright, so this is the idea. This is what you want. Sliced mushrooms. Oh, I almost forgot. I thought I was finished, but I'm not. Alright, so this is our tomato. The tomato now, with the tomato, cut the tomato in quarters and then cut each quarter piece in half. So in all, each you should cut 1/8. The tomato in 1/8. And the riper the tomato, the better it is. The better it will be. And you can use salad tomatoes as well. So this is the idea, and this is what you want. Just put your chopped or cut tomatoes aside. Have it ready for. Alright, so this is our ingredients: the chopped tomatoes, the sliced mushroom, half scotch bonnet pepper, any pepper, onions, garlic, scallion, and herbal mixture of herbs and 2 spices. So I'm gonna put all the ingredients that I'm gonna cook with nearby, right next to the stove. Now put to heat a saucepan. Be sure the saucepan is dried out. Use a paper towel and wipe out inside the saucepan if necessary. The stove's gauge is on 4, medium low. Right after that, add half quarter cup oil, maybe about 4 tablespoons or so. I use coconut oil, but I guess you can use any cooking oil with this meal. The healthier the oil, the better. Add the dried pimento berries along with the 2 whole cloves in the heating oil. Watch the berries, because I'm not sure if they might burst and hurt you. So just be mindful of the berries and the heat. They might burst. I'm not sure. I've never heard of them bursting, but I'm wondering. So the objective here is now to flavor the oil with pimento berries and the whole clove, because I want to give you a good eating experience, and I don't want you to stop to take out any berries or anything like that. While the spices is flavoring the oil, turn the stove's gauge on low. Remember now, watch for any of these might burst. After 2 minutes, the stove's gauge is on low. The oil is flavored with the dried pimento berries and whole clove. That's what you want. After that, use a spoon like this and remove the berries. Alright, so that's what you want. Stove gauge is on 4. Turn the stove back up on 4 medium low. Add your chopped onions. Stir in, allow, saute in. Ten seconds later, add the diced scallion. Stir in a couple times and allow sauteing. Remember, I told you if you're using fresh, I'm not going to that part yet. The stove gauge is on 4, medium low. You got to allow the vegetables such as the onion and the scallion along with the mashed garlic to saute, adding additional flavors. Flavors we can put in a bottle. Once the onion and the scallion is sauteed, about a minute or 2 later, add your mashed garlic and allow it to saute. Stir in and allow sauteing. Now, salt is optional. You don't have to use the salt, but measure and add half teaspoon. I use sea salt. About 20 seconds later, onion, scallion, garlic sauteed, add your sliced mushroom. Stir in, allowing sauteing for about 10 seconds. Right after that, add your mixture of herbs, which we call herbal. Stir it in, coating all your mushroom pieces with herbs. About 15 seconds after, add your chopped tomato. You finish adding things for now. Oh, we need to add a distilled white vinegar. We're going to add a tablespoon between 2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. The distilled white vinegar gives this meal a tangy flavor. You can use red wine vinegar. With this part, oh, I forgot to say, but with mushroom, you would have added the mushroom the same time you saw me add the mushroom if you were using fresh mushrooms. Oh yes, I forgot to say the mushrooms. If you were using fresh mushrooms, you would add it the same time that you saw me add these mushrooms and stir fry it with the vegetables and allow it to kind of flavor up the mushrooms. Alright, now back to this part. With the tomato now, the objective right here is to kind of stir the tomato in, kind of soften and break down the tomato in the saucepan. For you guys to stir and do this part for about between 3 minutes before adding water. Between 3 minutes of stir frying. Now would be a good time to add a pepper. If you were using shredded red pepper, you could just add a 1/4 teaspoon. Next, measure and add 1/2 cup water. The spoon that I'm using measures 1/4 cup, so measure and add 1/2 cup of water. Use the pan's lid. Cover the saucepan properly. Allow. The stove gauge is on 4, medium, low. Allow. 3 minutes later, didn't open the lid. The lid stay on within the time. The stove gauge is on 4. This is what it looks like. Your stew is thickening. Now would be a good time to remove the pepper, if you're using old pepper like this, and kind of stir your stew in. You want the stew or the gravy of the stew to be thick. We are going to allow it to stay for a couple more minutes, full 5 minutes later in total. This is what our stew look like. This is 100% vegan stew. No meat. And the flavor is even better than meat. This is the idea. You want your the stew's gravy to be thick and juicy looking. So this is the idea. Once the sauce or the stew starts sticking to the pot's bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. Alright, so you finish. Turn the stove off. This is what you want your stew to look like. Use the pan's lid. Cover the saucepan until serving. This is our mushroom tomato stew. Stir your pot in before serving. Take a scoop of this lovely, delicious looking mushroom tomato stew. Hey guys, you're gonna enjoy this meal. Vegans, I'm here to make you have a good eating food experience. This is mushroom tomato stew. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, share. You must try cooking this meal yourself. Give us feedback when you do. Mushroom tomato stew. Mushrooms tomato stew. Let's eat this. I'm tempted to say meat, but I'm just kidding. It do look like meat though. This is my mushroom tomato stew. It's bursting with flavors. It's tangy. It's giving me a sense of eating real dinner. It's filling, have you know. You can eat this with rice, vegetables like lettuce, salad, or spaghetti as you see me eating it with now. You can use vegetable spaghetti, wheat spaghetti. Alright guys, you saw me eat this old plate, this small plate of mushroom tomato stew. Notice how I'm just eating it straight through. No berries in it to interfere my eating. My eating. Thanks for watching. Bless you.
Yeah, man.